Deputy Laura, why must I raise my voice?
You shouldn't have to, though.
Yeah, I'm like, no, there was a guy in court that you were hugged up with. Who was
My
that?
husband.
What's his name?
Cody.
Cody what?
Good ad.
You don't know his last name? Oh, you know what? His name is on your face. Turn to the side. Let me see what it
No,
says.
it's not.
Cody,
Thanks.
is that his name?
No, that's not his last name.
That's why I was asking for help, Your Honor. That's why
All
I
right,
had-
your help is not going to be outpatient treatment if I grant this application for deferred adjudication. So you're going into custody today.
Some come to court with tears, some with excuses, and some with no shame at all. These are the top 5 entitled brats who faced Judge Boyd in court.
Silent, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, of course, Ms. Torres is hoping you'll grant her application for deferred. She's in self-employed cleaning houses. She has several customers that rely on her. She has a few kids. She's just asking for the court to maybe direct her to some outpatient treatment because she believes she needs some help with this problem. And other than that, again, she's just hoping you'll grant her application.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Honor. Missy Torres, Missy Ann Torres.
All right, so you're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
They will come back a positive.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamine.
All right, so how often are you using meth?
I only do it when I'm under stress, and I did it because I could get denied for adjudication, so
I'm sorry, what?
I could get denied the application. So I just kind of was, I was kind of, I just do it when I'm under stress. So I know I have a problem and I don't do it like around my children. I don't do it, every day. It's just, when I'm under stress and I was, really scared. So, and really under stress. So I don't do it when I go to work. I don't do it, every day, like I said.
All right, so how many children do you have?
I have 3,
What are their ages?
11, 8, and 5.
And where are they now?
2 of them are with their dad and 1 is with my grandma.
All right, with your grandmother, so their great grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, do you help take care of your children?
Yes.
How
I-
often?
I see them every other weekend and I don't pay child support, but I pay them. My exes and I have my daughter. My daughter is with me.
No, you just said your daughter is with the
Yeah,
great
but I
grandmother.
live with my grandmother. This was it.
All right.
So I help take care of. She
Right.
helps me take care of her.
Okay. So 1, I don't think it's appropriate for you to be cleaning houses
Okay.
because of the nature of this offense. And 2, I don't think it's appropriate for you right now to be taking care of your children.
That's why I'm asking for help, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what?
That's why I was asking for help, Your Honor. That's why.
All right, your help is not going to be outpatient treatment if I grant this application for deferred adjudication. So you're going into custody today.
Okay.
All right. So it's just a matter of what I'm going to do with you. I will tell you the court's issue, and if you want to address this, I know the state is proceeding on count 2 of possession, but she had a lot of drugs with her.
No.
So I don't understand if you're working homes, then why do you have a scale with
Right.
you? Because that's, according to this, you had drugs, you had a scale in your purse, and there were baggies totaling 32.0 grams.
Well, Your Honor, I was a heavy user back then and it was.
Oh, you're not, I tell you what, I don't think, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I don't think you were using 32 grams of meth.
It was only 28.
No, you have meth here for 4.964 grams, and you also have meth for 27.459 grams. And what you pled to in count 2 was a possession 4 to 200 grams. So this is not a possession 1 to 4. So we're talking about 27 grams. And according to the stipulations, that what was found in your bag It says, I searched her bag and inside a Paris Hilton makeup bag box were baggies, a scale, and crystal-like substance inside a cut vacuum sealed bag. That's from your Paris Hilton makeup bag.
So what I had, the meth was it was double bagged in a sandwich bag. So yes, ma'am, I know it was 20, but it's because that was my personal. I didn't have any other. And last time I went, they tried to only give me which was 14 grams. So I had to.
No, what I'm telling you is, they said the baggie found in Robert's pocket tested positive for meth and had a field weight of
But that was
6.12
Robert's,
grams.
that wasn't mine.
No, I'm not saying that was yours. So the 6.12 grams that were found in his pocket, they're saying that was his, it was in his pocket. But the baggie, which was found in Missy's purse, tested positive for meth and had a field weight of 32.09 grams. Now, mind you, what they do in the field, I already know that testing drugs in the field are not legal for court. So I'm not considering the weight and what they said in the field. I'm considering what has been given to me for laboratory reports. So this was the professionals testing it, not a presumptive. And it says 27.459 grams was the net weight of the meth that you had in your Paris Hilton bag.
Yes, Your Honor. And I will say that I used to use a whole ounce within 2 to 3 days. So I was a heavy user and like I said, they tried to give me half of that the last time and right now it's going for 250. So if I'm paying 250, I wanted the whole thing. I wanted to make sure. I'm just being honest and I'm sorry. Excuse me for being,
No, I
transparent.
want you to be honest and I want you to be transparent.
I'm sorry for being transparent, but it's something that I feel like I worked for my money and I didn't want just to get gypped again. I can promise you I didn't sell anything. It was because I've been gypped many times. So I did get it. Now it was double bagged because I don't know, that's the way they gave it to me. I can't, and it is my mistake and I'm taking full responsibility, but I wasn't selling drugs. I wouldn't. I guess I have a job and back then I was, a heavy user where I would just do it before work, after work, and I didn't have my children in my life. Now I do have my children back in my life and I'm trying to be a good mom. So I thank you for, giving me an inpatient program.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm going to give you
Oh, I'm
inpatient.
sorry.
What I'm saying is that you're not walking out of this courtroom today.
Mhm.
Either you're going to be going to prison or either you're going to be going to inpatient treatment. So it's very important that you be 100% honest with me because I'm telling you, the state proceeded on a possession, but the amount of drugs you had and the way they were packaged, that's concerning for the court. So you're saying that you just bought a bunch of meth and you were saving it up for use?
So I would use within 2 to 3 days, that was all my personal. Like I said, they tried to sell me half of that one time and I went back to the same person, but I said, I'm gonna wait myself to make sure I'm getting the right amount because I'm an addict. I'm sorry, I am. And we're not.
So you travel with your own scale?
Well, at the time I did, because like I said, I've been gypped and when you're an addict, that's all you think of, just how to get, make sure you're getting what you need. And honestly, I can see where I made my mistake, but I'm being honest with you. It was my skeleton measure. So my personal, that's it. And I don't know if Robert would tell you that was my personal as well. Like, I mean, I don't want to call him or anything you can if you want to. But he would tell you that's what I used to pick
Oh, no, I'm not gonna be calling Robert because Robert probably has a case of his own.
Right. But I'm saying Robert can tell you too, within 3 days, maybe 2 to 3 days, really, it would have been gone and I would have been back doing it again. Now I don't. It was kind of like a stress thing. And
Where did you get your drugs to use today before you came to court?
Just an old friend. I hadn't talked to him since, and it was on Saturday when I knew it was, coming and I guess I felt, wonderful.
If I'd like
Yes.
to say something, I think the fact that she would actually go out and do the same drugs that she's about to get sentenced for in a couple of days, I think really speaks to the fact that she has a serious addiction problem that I think only rehab can treat. And if you decide that's ISF or SADF or SAFE, we understand that, but I think she really needs treatment.
All right, this is what the court is there anything else for me to say? All right, this is what the court is gonna do. I see that she hasn't been to prison before. I'm gonna find her guilty, sentence her to 6 years in the prison, the therapeutic community. There's to be no contact with Robert Marble, give her credit for any time served, and I'll retain jurisdiction.
Okay,
And you can explain to her what that means. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. I'll tell them. So here's the thing. When I say that I'm going to retain jurisdiction, what that means is they're going to take you to prison. If you're following the rules at the prison, if you're working on yourself, because they have programs at the prison, your attorney can file a motion. It's called shock probation. Back when I was growing up, they would have scared straight programs. So shock probation is sort of a scared straight program. So hopefully when you go to prison, you will clear your mind.
Yes.
The drug use or the addiction that you have, the craving that you have will be lifted. And if you are doing
so
what you're supposed to do at the prison, if there are no bad reports at the prison, when your attorney comes back for a request for shock probation, I will strongly consider it. So while you're at the prison, you have 180 days. That's when he needs to bring it back before me before that time period. So you're going to do 6 months. And if you are doing well, if there are no write-ups against you, then the court will strongly consider giving you probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, well, I mean, these are going to be choices that you make. It's going to be completely up to you whether or not I strongly consider giving you probation. Your attorney will explain it to you further, but any programs that they have at the prison, like the therapeutic community, to address your issue, you need to take it. I know they have parenting classes at the jail. I don't know how long the transfer will be, but you need to take advantage of that. When you see people come before me and they've gone to anger management class, they've done parenting classes, they've availed themselves of everything at the jail and everything at the prison, that is what you need to do. You need to immediately sign up for it. If for some reason there's overcrowding and they don't give it to you, it would be better for you to have signed up for it than to just throw up your hands and say, I'm not trying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And next time, if you have a case before any judge, don't use before coming to court. You understand? But I do appreciate your honesty, but you're going to have to get your life in order. Otherwise, children is going to be without their mom. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. You're welcome.
thank you.
Ravina, if you can unmute, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, thank you so much for zooming in. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
All right, so before me is Haley Moy. And my understanding, you all had difficulty contacting her? Or basically you had no contact with her?
So on her initial reporting for orientation date, she did not report. However, on the 2nd of January, I was able to make contact with her and conduct her orientation.
All right, when is
to go
her,
over her
I'm sorry, go ahead.
On the 2nd of January, I did conduct her orientation for conditions of bond.
All right, so when's the last time you had contact with her? Was it the 2nd of January?
No, ma'am. So on the 1st of February, I had contact with her and she informed me she's on bed rest. However, we've never received any documentation.
All right, so I'm going to give her a deadline to give you all documentation. And I am going to want her in outpatient treatment. And if you could waive the fees for that, because she tested positive in court today.
Okay. Yes,
So
ma'am.
when are you going to have the documentation?
Yeah, I have an appointment next Wednesday with my doctor, and that's when I can get her handwritten. But right now, I'm just getting it on my chart from university. They don't let me screenshot anything. They said for security.
That's okay. So you're
Whatever.
saying Wednesday, the 21st?
Yes.
All right. So are you able to schedule an appointment with her on Thursday or Friday, the 22nd or 23rd?
I can.
No,
I
no,
can
no.
call.
I'm talking to him.
Oh, okay.
So, Your Honor, you wanted her to have outpatient treatment, is that correct?
Yes.
So I would actually have to submit a transfer to a separate section in our office, and that would be entirely based upon what they can do.
Okay. But before, so who would she? I want to make sure she reports and gives proof of the hospitalization.
Correct.
So can she report on the 22nd or 23rd?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with bond conditions. I want to continue with the random drug and alcohol testing. There is going to be outpatient treatment. And I'll ask that fees are waived since she has these medical issues.
Mhm.
And she is to report with proof of hospitalization and medical diagnosis. Need from the court?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else she's going to need with you all?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much for zooming in.
Yes, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. So Miss Moy, who brought you down here today?
My husband's mom,
No, there was a guy in court that you were hugged up with. Who was
my
that?
husband.
All right. So if he were drug tested, what would his results be? And let me just tell you, I'm not even asking.
Probably the same as mine.
All right. So this is the thing. You cannot be using drugs and be with a person who's using drugs. What's his name?
Probably
Cody what?
good at,
You don't know his last name?
good at all. I don't know how to say it. I'm not
No. I mean, you should know your boyfriend's or husband's last name.
good at all.
Is he in the hallway?
Mhm.
Have him come in. Could somebody call Cody to come in, please? Where are your parents?
They're not in the picture.
Do you have any family?
Um,
Oh, you know what? His name is on your face. Turn to the side. Let me see what it
no,
says.
it's not
Cody,
Banks.
is that his name?
No, that's not his last name.
Well, who is Cody Banks?
That's just what I got on my face. It's not his last name.
Okay. All right, what's your last name
Hello,
and your first name?
Cody.
And who's Cody Banks? All right, so you Cody Guerrero and Cody Banks?
It's just a nickname.
You didn't know his nickname?
Well, I saw my face.
No, I mean, I asked you who that was. I asked you if that's the same person.
Yeah,
You said
it
you don't
is.
know. All right, and there's so your mother is the person who brought you both down here today? And brought you all both from where?
My grandma.
All right, so you all are living with your grandmother?
Yeah, she has a house in the back. Yeah, it's a-
All right, I'm sure your grandmother doesn't want people living in with her who are using. So this is what's going to end up happening. And I want you to listen to me very carefully. If you need a place to stay, it's not going to be with him. I'm ordering no contact with Cody Guerrero or Cody Banks. And let me just tell you what the reason why I'm doing that. He's using, he's not under any type of jurisdiction of the court, so he can continue to use if he so choose. I don't recommend doing that because I don't think you want your grandmother or your mom to have to identify your body. You need to go somewhere and get into treatment. And whose name is over your eyebrow?
It's Vanessa.
Vanessa what?
Vanessa,
Finessing? What are you finessing?
everything.
All right, not doing a good job, but okay. So here's the thing. You are not allowed to live with him. He's in the throes of his addiction. You're in the throes of your addiction. And two people who are in the throes of their addiction cannot help each other. Because if you try to stop using, which you're going to have to, guess what? If he's using, you're going to want to use. And if you try to stop using and she wants to use, you're going to use because you're together. So you're not allowed to live with him anymore. You understand?
Mhm.
So there's Haven for Hope, there's Salvation Army. They actually have a great women's program as well. And you can try Lifetime Recovery. And I'll add on here a referral to Lifetime Recovery. But you should not be with him. And do you have employment?
No, I received social security.
For what?
Schizophrenia.
I'm sorry, for what?
Schizophrenia.
All right. So you should not be coming down with her for this. You understand? And you all shouldn't be dragging your mother and your grandmother into this. All right? And you don't want anybody to have to identify your body because the last time you use may be the last time you use. And don't be going to hospitals and doctors to try and get medications when you really shouldn't be getting medications. Do not doctor shop, because when you doctor shop, if one of those doctors, for example, forgets to put something in a system or something breaks down with communication, another doctor could prescribe you something that could cause you to have your life ended. You understand?
Yes.
So I'm going to email Stephen Avina and I'm going to tell him to add no contact with Cody Guerrero, Cody Banks, and a referral to Lifetime Recovery. And just as a side note, when you're doing tattoos of people's names on your body, there are only two safe choices. Your mom, because usually people's moms love them and they're always going to be there for them, and children. If you end up leaving him, guess what? Your boyfriend going to be asking, who is Cody Banks? You may be able to slide a little bit because Cody Banks is the name of a Nickelodeon show, but otherwise you're not going to be able to slide. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. Make sure you report to pretrial
Is
services.
my other court date reset?
No, it's the same.
So for today?
Ms. Ferguson, if you can make sure she has a reset form so she'll know when to come back to this court, but you're going to pretrial services on February 22nd.
Yes.
And then you have a different date to come back here, okay?
Okay.
All right. And make sure next time you come in, tops need to be able to cover the stomach, okay? All right. Good luck to you. Court is calling 2024 CR 1853 and 2024 CR 1854, State of Texas versus Haley Moy. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Robert Gear for defendant Haley Moy, judge, and we are not ready as my client is not present.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:07 a.m. Your client did not answer the docket. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, there's no one under that new policy.
All right, do you have any idea where your client is?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, the state would respectfully request a bond forfeiture.
All right, that will be granted in each cause number. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. And for the record, the court will also note that there is a second violation report as well due to non-compliance. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Plea to 2 cases.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each time you come before me, you have more and more tattoos.
I know new ones.
Yeah. Oh. This morning, each of the cause numbers, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And the cause number ending in 53, you're charged with evading arrest, detention, vehicle. And the cause number ending in 66, and count 1, you're charged with prohibited substance or item in a correctional facility. That's a 3rd-degree felony. The evading in a vehicle is also a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment in each of those cause numbers anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will do, and that cause number, the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 1853. I'll take in consideration 2024 CR 1854, and I'll ask for the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but maybe that can help you when you're released. And then in cause number 2024 CR 1853, The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 008966. Take in consideration 2024 CR 1854. And there's to be restitution, if any, to Samuel Brazier. And I'll also request the therapeutic community. Again, the therapeutic community is there to help you if you have any type of mental health issues or medical issues. So if you serve 4 years, they won't keep you because you haven't completed the therapeutic community. I do not have jurisdiction to force them to let you be in the program or to order them to place you in the program, but I think it's something that you probably need, okay? Go off the record. How old are you?
26.
All right, you're 26. You still can turn your life around. When you were young, what did you want to be when you were thinking about what you could be in this world? Oh, what is it?
I wouldn't.
Okay, I hope it's not. Were you around when Julia Roberts had her movie out?
No.
All right, I'm just saying that because there were some people in my school, they're like, oh, I'm gonna be Julia Roberts. And I was like, that is a crazy idea. But here's the thing, what I'm telling you is you still have a chance. You're not in the twilight of your life. I'm in the twilight of my life. So you still have more of your life in front of you than behind you. So you're gonna have to make some changes. And this whole thing with inserting drugs and going to the jail with it, you could have died. And then the person who, this is how far addiction will take you, right? The person who got, had vomiting and everything, they actually took some of that drugs from you. That's what they're saying, that you uninserted it and gave them some and they got sick. So when you think about that, when you get clean and sober, you're just going to be like, who would do that, right? So when you go to prison, if I'm still here, when you get out of prison, if you need a place to stay, of course, you won't be staying with me, but if you need housing or you need help with drugs or whatever, you can come back here and I will pick up the phone and find a place for you, okay?
Okay.
And do not put any more tattoos on your face, okay? And don't get involved with anybody who wants you to put their name on your face. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Just state one thing on the record. Your
Yes.
Honor. There were some mental health concerns, but we did have her referred to Carruthers. She was examined for competency and sanity, and both of those have been resolved.
All right. So she was deemed to be competent.
Yes, she does have some severe mental health issues, but she is competent and she was sane at the time of the offense.
All right. So why are you strangling a 2-month-old cat?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, I mean, I know you're sorry. You're saying you're sorry you did it. I'm asking why. Why would you do that?
I was under the influence of drugs.
But you were eating at Sonic when this happened?
Yes, ma'am.
What drugs are you saying you were under the influence of?
Methamphetamine.
Okay, so why did the meth make you strangle a cat?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I also have mental health issues.
And what's the mental health issues?
Bipolar.
All right, so again, we're back to the point. So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were not on your medications?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you take meth. So how does that translate into strangling a cat?
Your Honor, there's no good explanation for strangling a cat.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes you're on drugs and you do certain things. So I'm just trying to figure out if meth caused her to strangle a cat or is there something else going on?
According to the diagnosis from the psychologist, there was also some issues with bipolar disorder. When you mix being bipolar with meth and homelessness, it's all just a bad combination. I've asked her what her plans for the future will be. She's indicated she wants to work as a waitress. She eventually, once she's done with prison time, will live with her mother. She wants to avoid the bad people and the bad situations that she was involved with.
Okay, so how does taking meth, being bipolar equal to strangling the cat?
As we said earlier, there's no excuse.
Well, no, I'm asking her.
Sure.
Like, what was your thought process? Because what I'm reading is there were 2 tabby cats running around. And so what go from two tabby cats running around enjoying themselves to double knotting a rope around one tabby's neck?
I don't have an excuse, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, I know you don't have an excuse, but I'm trying to figure out what was your thought process?
I'm not sure what my thought process was at the time.
Well, I mean, did you have a rope on you and go get a rope, or how did that work out?
I don't remember because I was on drugs.
All right. Anything else? All right, I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in prison. You credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with any animals or children. Well, I should say, or minors. So you're not to have any contact with minors or children. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or animals.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what that means is if you decide to give birth and have a child, Child Protective Services, if they're doing their job, they're supposed to come in and remove that child. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and just one moment. All right, who is the man you were with at the drive-in?
Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith?
Yes.
All right, and there should be no contact with Jonathan Smith. All right, that's all.
That's it, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Guerrero,
Yes,
are you waiving your right to appeal?
yes.
So does anybody want to tell me what the aggravated robbery is about?
I can summarize it, Your Honor.
Yes.
My client, or a lady went to her truck or a Kia, I keep saying a truck, but it's a Kia. To go somewhere, and in the driveway, when she got to the driveway, there was two individuals in her car, not my client. There was an individual she noticed across the street, which was my client. When she approached the car, the co-defendant Lamas was in the driver's side, and he had broken the column, and he had rummaged through and had some stuff collected. There was a man, Ray Barfield, I believe, in the passenger seat, who evidently had a gun in his lap. And when she approached the car, I believe her statement is that he pointed at her. I was more concentrated on her, but that's where the aggravated part comes in. Those two ran from the car. My client is walking near a Dairy Queen a little bit later with the guy that was in the driver's seat. And when the police contact them, all the stolen items from the car are just like on the floor, like on the sidewalk, right? The person with the gun is away. They are able to ultimately identify the person with the gun with the aid and assistance of my client and the other co-defendant, and do now defend the case too. All the lay witnesses' accounts would be that my client was across the street in a lookout capacity, and that this was I guess the incident of the homeowner walking out and walking into her car being burglarized, and that the kid in the driver in the passenger seat then pulled into the outfit and exposed the fire.
Well, you were given a chance for education. I mean, you're where you are now because of your actions and nobody else's. I've had plenty of clients before where they just been the lookout, and guess what it turns into? Capital murder charge. In Texas, if you're just a lookout for somebody and they kill somebody, guess what? It's just like you killed them as well. Doesn't matter if you have the gun or not. If you're with somebody and you all decide to go rob a gas station, And if they go into that gas station, they kill somebody, it's just like you were in the gas station killing somebody as well. It's sort of like they're your agent and you're responsible for their actions. So you had a chance on probation. And what time did this happen?
I don't know. It was night.
It was
I don't
nighttime?
know that. It was early enough to where the homeowner was going to go run an errand or something, but I don't know.
So had the street lights come on? Because I gave him a curfew. And obviously you didn't follow the curfew, because guess what? If you would have been
Not
where you
the,
were supposed to be, this wouldn't have happened. Now you're going to prison. And how old are you?
23.
You're 23. You're crying. And I know you're crying. You're crying, and I know you're crying because you don't want to go to prison. And you're just like, I was just across the street. But as I said, in Texas, if you're with a group of people and you all are burglarizing vehicles and somebody pulls a gun, it's just like you pulled the gun, whether or not you pulled the gun, because y'all are working together. You understand? Nobody wants to go to prison. You had a chance not to go to prison and turn your life around. I gave you deferred adjudication, tried to help you by tightening up your schedule a little bit, by putting you on a curfew, and you still find these people to hang out with who mean you no good and mean society no good. I don't understand why young people are breaking into vehicles. Now you got to ask yourself, is stealing a car worth 7 years of your life? Breaking into somebody's house and getting caught, was that really worth 7 years of your life? All of these crimes that people are committing, they need to be asking themselves, how much of my life would I be willing to give away to commit this crime for just some foolishness, for a vehicle that's going to end up being destroyed because the column is broken, instead of just doing what's right? I tell people all the time, life, yeah, it can be hard because things happen to good people sometimes. But 9 times out of 10 in your situation, if you would have just followed the rules, guess what? You would not be in the situation that you're in now. And then you come to this court, I give you deferred adjudication to get your life together. You wouldn't be in this situation where you are now. That aggravated robbery case, the range of punishment on that is 5 to 99 years of life in prison. You understand? Yeah. So I know 7 years is hard. And let me just tell you, prison life is hard, because when you go to prison, much like the Bexar County Jail, sometimes people just won't leave you alone and let you do your time in peace. Always got to watch over your back. But you could have been in the free world. So now what's going to end up happening, I'm going to follow the agreement and I'm going to sentence you to 7 years. But let me just tell you something. Do not become institutionalized, because people who go to prison, you know what they say? I will never be in this situation again. I'm gonna be the child that my mom wants me to be. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna act right. And then you know what ends up happening? They get out, time when they smell free air, and get to their house. There's a celebration. You're home. Everything's going fine. I would say about 80% of the people, they stay on the right track for about 20 days. Then their old friends start coming around, and then they're right back before another judge with another offense. If you continue the way that you're continuing, you're going to find yourself living at the prison, and you're going to be the oldest person in the prison. In Texas, they have repeater status. And if you come back, you'll be coming back as a repeater, and that bumps up whatever felony you have, it bumps it up punishment range. And then if you go back to prison and come back, you're going to be a habitual. And for some felonies, your minimum is going to be 25 years to start with. And you're going to look up and you're going to be at the prison and you're going to realize you're like 50, 60 at the prison. You understand? Yes. All right. This is what the court will do. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. The court will grant the motion, find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Adan, A-D-A-N, or Tamara Alvarado. Patricia Santos. Stefan, Stephan Brown. And who's the complainant in the other case?
Judge, I.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I may have it in the indictment.
She is listed on.
The victim's name is Samantha Rios.
All right, and Samantha Rios. And I'm gonna order restitution to Samantha Rios. Is there any objection from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, there's restitution, if any, to Samantha Rios and cause number 2023 CR 10419A.
Would that be joint several with this, co-defendants?
We can say jointly and severally liable. Who are the co-defendants?
It's gonna be, Damien,
Just 1 second, let me write jointly and several. Okay, who?
Damien, Damien, Lamas,
Okay,
Ray Barfield,
is that BARE?
just BARFI.
All right, jointly and several liable with Damian Yamas, Ray Barfield, and there's to be no contact with Damian Yamas and Ray Barfield. Although you may end up having contact with them at the prison, it will just be a matter of where they place you. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from the state.
No, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. You better change your life. Otherwise, it's not going to end well for you. Either you're going to end up in prison or either you're going to try to break into somebody else's vehicle and they're going to end up shooting you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
He's accepting responsibilities, just wanting to move forward. He seems to be doing very well right now.
Is he doing well because he's in custody?
No, just he was doing well before. He had some issues with those, and he seems to be doing well since this offense has happened.
Why do you keep breaking into people's cars?
Garner, I wish to think that's something that I grow out of. I
What
think
do
it
you-
was just an immature thing.
No, I mean, that's not a sign of immaturity. There are a lot of people who are not breaking into vehicles and
Yes.
taking things that don't belong to him.
You are correct.
So why are you doing that?
Honestly, I don't have a logical explanation.
How old are you?
I'm 26, just turned 26.
Do you want to spend the rest of your life in custody? Do you want to go to prison?
No.
Then why you keep doing this? People work hard to have what they have. That person's car that you broke into, now they, who knows, maybe they had to get a new car. People going around using screwdrivers to break into people's cars. People don't like that. That's how people end up getting shot. And when I say people end up getting shot, I mean the person who's breaking into somebody's vehicle.
I think almost that's what actually scared me to not want to do that no more, because that day I experienced that when he came out with a shotgun. So with that being said, I don't think that's something that I will be doing.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
He actually has a job. He was working when he got picked up on this case.
I've
I've spoken to his employer, the Jason guy.
and he with my partner, Jason, he owns a landscaping business. I was doing landscaping fencing. Prior to me getting arrested, I was in Austin working a job with him, for him. That's a promising career, I could say, that I had found and that I plan on moving forward with and just pushing as far as I can go with that.
All right. Court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 6 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 701618. All right, so it's my understanding on this case, the defendant had entered a plea, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And did you plead no contest? The reason why I say that,
There was no contest or guilty, Your Honor.
it was no contest? Okay, because it's not written. So
And
translate for me, how does I have problems with drug and alcohol translate him to having been to prison before for robbery and having all of these cases, and according to what I read in the stipulations, stealing people's packages from mailboxes when people are waiting for their items and then they don't receive them because somebody has stolen them from mailboxes. I don't understand why the federal government is not involved, because it's the theft of US.
he's accepted guilt of that. We have no real justification for that, obviously, Your Honor. I was, the main 2 points that I would like to hit are that Mr. Moya, he's been in custody for about for 236 days now on this. He has been diligent in jail. He's not having any trouble in jail. He has been attending AA twice a week since February. Seems,
So I'm assuming you're gonna ask for something less than 12 months in the state jail facility.
respectfully, Your Honor, yes.
All right, so why should I give him something, and maybe he knows, why should I give him something less than 12 months in the state jail facility? He's already been, if this is correct, he's been to prison before for robbery. And what I'm looking at in the PSI report, he has a theft case. He got deferred for it. Criminal trespass, burglary of a vehicle, failure to identify, another theft case that was dismissed. I'm not going to consider that because it was dismissed. A burglary of a vehicle, second. Failure to identify that was taken in consideration. Failure to identify that was dismissed. Failure to identify that was dismissed. Assault, bodily injury, married, dismissed. Missing witness. Possession, penalty group 3, less than 28 grams, dismissed because there was no toxicology report. Evading arrest, detention, dismissed, placed on some other form of probation. Theft of $100, enhanced jail time. Burglary of a building, rejected, further investigation. Possession less than a gram, sentenced to 5 months. Another possession less than a gram, placed on probation, revoked. A theft case, sentenced to jail. Fraudulent possession of identifying items, probation terminated. Robbery, sentenced to 2 years in the prison. Another fraud case that was dismissed, convicted of other. And burglary of a vehicle with 2 convictions, sentenced to 6 months in the state jail. Then you have this case. So why should I consider giving him less than the 12? You want to raise your right hand?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Jacob Moya, Jacob Paul Moya.
All right, what would you like to say?
Your Honor, I understand the severity of my charges. I understand my history, and I'm not trying to justify anything that I've done, but I mean, I have learned how severe this can get, that I don't want to go away. I mean, this time it's just 12 months, I know, but next time it could be longer, and I'm not trying to see the next time. I'm not trying to do this. I see how this is. I'm not trying to do this. I can honestly say, I know I caught the charges just recently, but I do now think a little clearer, and I don't think how I was when I picked up the robbery or those other charges. I'm not that same person, and I don't want to be that person. I'm trying hard to push away from being that person.
I don't know why it's so hard not to steal.
Honestly, Your Honor, it's there. I think it's just easier to do it. I know people work hard for what they got.
I
People
don't know
still
why
work.
people don't want to work anymore.
No, I was working, Your Honor, that those couple, it was actually that week. I wasn't working, I wasn't home, but
So other people who were at work, because see, I want you to internalize what you did. Other people who were at work, waiting for their packages to delivered. Maybe it's somebody's birthday gift. Maybe it's something somebody's mom sent to them. Maybe it's something a family member sent to them that can't be replaced. And there's somebody just waiting for the postman to drop items in the mailbox so they can steal it. Taking somebody's vehicle, breaking into a vehicle, stealing items. That's some item that somebody worked hard for. I always would tell, I've been a defense attorney. I would have clients. They'd say, I don't have a job. I'm like, yeah, you do. They're like, what's my job? I'm like, you break into people's homes, you break into people's cars. That's your employment. While people are at work, you break into their house. Because I would always give my clients home truths to tell them, you need to look at what you're doing to society. You're a person in society that people have issues with because they're out here working hard, following the rules, and you're breaking them and breaking it in somebody's mailbox. I still don't know why the federal government doesn't start arresting people, because interference with the postal service, stealing mail, that's a federal offense. If you read the letters, even when a letter comes to your house and it's supposed to be in somebody else's mail, but the postman put it in your mailbox by mistake, you know what it says on there? It has a law on there about if you open this and it is not for you and you take it and you don't just put it back in the box, return to sender. Me personally, I always just drive around the corner, knock on my neighbor's door. Hey, they put this in my box by mistake. If it's junk mail, I just put it back in the mailbox because nobody wants junk mail really. But that's what you've been out here doing. And now you come to the court, you want sympathy saying you've learned. And I'm sure, hopefully, when you went to prison for robbery, did you learn anything from that experience?
honestly, Your Honor, I'm not trying to justify, like I said, but when I went to prison, I was put in some difficult positions where I can honestly say, like, I pray that a lot of people that are about to go to prison, probably younger than me, don't experience or seen the stuff that I saw.
Now, here's the thing. I know horrible things happen in prison. It would be nice if people could be left alone, just do their time in prison and learn. But prison, really, the only way to be rehabilitated I see in prison, if you're like 100% about rehabilitation. I know people in prison, guess what? They get beat up. People in prison get their commissary taken from them. People in prison get raped. People in prison will rape people in prison. Then they get out and they go back to their wives, their family member, acting like nothing ever happened. Oh yeah, I just raped him because guess what? We're in prison. This is what we do. I understand prison is a horrible place to be. Bear County Jail is a horrible place to be. I had clients who were over there who were bit by spiders. Next thing you know, they have a hole in their leg. It happens. It's a shame it happens. There's nothing I could do about that. If there is something I could do about it, I would be right in there doing something about it. So I understand prison is not a fun place. And honestly, it's not supposed to be a fun place. Some people say, when I'm released from prison, guess what? I have to watch my back 24/7 because I'm used to in prison watching my back 24/7 because you never know who's coming after you or what they're going to do. I understand. But you get out of prison, which you say was a difficult time for you, and then you come out and you still do this.
Well, Your Honor,
If,
Oh,
if I could just interject on my bad.
yes.
I do understand, I wasn't on drugs when I had committed the offense, although I'm not trying to justify it. Since I've been in Bear County, I'd like to point out, I spoke with my lawyer, he said it would be a good idea. I was a painter from January, February, and I just recently stopped doing that. It was for a corporal. And then her husband, which is a sergeant for jail programs, hired me to do mattresses, and they actually said that since I've been doing such a good job, they want to move me to the main jail to show the people, the other inmates, how to do it, because they're already gonna be done with it there. They're starting like an initiative to, I guess, eliminate the damage of beds, to make them and clean them. And I mean, I like that me doing that, working. That's honestly, I've lined up a job for when I get out. I'm really pushing forward to sticking to that plan. Cause honestly, I like the energy and just how I am, how I am as a person when I'm working and I'm doing something productive.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right, I want to let you know, I internalized everything what you said, and I understand that you're on a path, you're trying to do better with your life. But sometimes sentencing is about punishment. And so I'm going to give you the 12 months. I'll give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2024 CR 3404. Off the record, here's the thing, when you're released from the state jail facility, if you think you want to use drugs, if you're trying to find a place to stay, if you're trying to find a free place for rehab and you can't find it, if I'm still here, you can come back here. I will pick up the phone, call somebody with resources so that you cannot come back here again for this type of situation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Option, Your Honor.
You're welcome.